Hello, and welcome to Another Time. My name is Obed Villas, and with me is the frog. Sorry. I got a frog right outside my window, man. He started
There's a
croaking
frog
just now.
outside your window.
Man, it's Mr. Joel Young.
I thought you were gonna call me Mr. Toad or something crazy.
Oh, Mr. Toad. Hey, you know what? Some people like Mr. Toad.
Some people do. Some people
Yeah,
miss
yeah.
Mr.
Some people
Toad.
miss Mr. Toad dearly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Man, it's fun.
Not
It's
the
like,
intro you were expecting,
dude,
but the intro
nothing.
you deserve.
Oh, hey. Yeah, man, it was all quiet, all good, and then this frog started croaking next to my window. It's like, what the heck is wrong with this guy?
He wants to join the show,
Hey,
man.
you know what? I
It's
don't blame the frog for wanting to join all the time. Everyone, welcome to the show. Joel, how you doing,
absolutely
man?
welcome. Dude, I am doing great. I have been super busy doing a bunch of different stuff on my end here. Life is good, can't complain much. I've got a funny story because I don't have too much of a what's up. I want to jump right into the story time. So everybody gather around, gather for this funny story. So, so this last week, on Friday, so almost a week from today, I was out taking care of some different errands, doing some personal stuff. You know what I was doing, man. But anyways, afterwards, need to get a bite to eat, right? And so I ended up at a local Shake Shack here in Central Florida. And so the location I'm at, I've gone there, dude, multiple times. It's a really nice spot. I like Shake Shack. I think they've gotten better, separate on a side note, with their burgers and some of their offerings. Their shakes usually was the things that brought me in, but they've gotten pretty decent with the food. I digress. So I go in and got my regular order. The place is packed, so I'm looking for a spot in the back of this location. I go to the back and I see that there's a group of people with like look, I'm thinking they're like, are they drawing like with crayons? Like what's going on over here? Not usual thing you see at Shake Shack, but it's all adults all huddled up. And this lady's got a microphone. I'm like, okay, I'm at karaoke night, right?
There you go.
Surprise, was not karaoke night. It was actually trivia night. And it's funny because as I was going to get my ketchup, I remember hearing the lady say Darth Maul. And I'm like, is it just my ears deceiving me? Or is this like someone actually talking about Star Wars, right? So of course, so she comes by, where myself and the group's with me, and she goes, "Hey, like, you guys want to join in? We're doing Star Wars trivia tonight. Would you be interested in jumping into this?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, of course I want to join into this thing, right?" This gets everybody there, the acts was all into it for sure, right? They had already started. I had come in. They were like at round three, and so I'm just jumping into wherever they were. She's like, "I'll just give you a few points for the early ones as if you did it just for funsies." So I'm like, we'll do this for fun anyways. Now, Obed, I don't know about you, but like, I like to. I think of myself as a Star Wars fan, but I like to be humble about it. I don't like to walk around like I know everything, and this is
You're saying
the
the name
class
wrong.
fighter system, and you know what I'm saying, like vehicle blah, you know how people start getting into all these little nitty gritties, and I know a lot, but I do not pretend like I know it all, right?
It's
I
not.
don't pretty humbly.
It's not Teras Kasai. It's Teras Kashi.
Right.
Yeah,
Pushes
yeah,
his
yeah.
glasses up
Yeah.
as he gets angry and sweaty. Anyway, so like I'm all right. So I'm humble about it. All right. Let's see how it goes. People are on the table like, oh yeah, we love Star Wars. Let's hype this up. My guys, to like I don't know what kind of questions they're gonna ask. So dude, right off the bat, question after question, nailing them, bro. I was like, keep it coming.
Oh
And
man.
look, I honest to
Said the
God,
wrong guy joined the game.
right? Honest to God, bro. Did not use my phone. I don't know about the other people around there because I'm not saying that they couldn't be fans, but there was a couple people in particular. I was like, I don't know. The fact that you got some of these down, I think you might have been doing the research online. I don't know. I don't know. This is me.
Okay.
Anyways,
You were like
so
that guy. You were
look,
like that guy that jumps in late to a game and then starts
yes.
decimating everyone.
Right. Just coming in,
Yeah.
bam, bam. So they had like even an extra round that they had to do because literally every like we like myself, another table literally just kept getting the answers right. Like we
Mm.
wouldn't stop getting them going. So we dished around. Look, the extra round we did, they still didn't get anything wrong. There was only two questions, Obed, that I got wrong in the entire trivia.
Okay.
Only two questions.
All right.
One of them, I knew I was gonna be like I wanted to kick myself because
You're gonna try and trivia me on them to see if I know.
No,
I know that's
I know
what you're trying to do.
this. You're not even gonna blink, dude. You're not even gonna blink. You're gonna know the answer. And I'm like, Joel,
Okay.
how did you not know this? Like, guys, folks listening out there, you can roast me on this one that I did not in the moment. I just could not pull it out of my brain. The words. Question was, what was the name of the slave master of Anakin and his mother?
Watto.
Right.
Yeah.
How could I not pull Watto out?
How could you forget?
Annie.
Annie.
see,
Joel.
see, you know.
I'm gonna
I'm like,
send
how-
you to the hut.
That's actually really good, dude. You listen to the playback of this. That was a pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, like I cannot believe that I could not get Watto.
Okay.
all the ones. The second one, even if you ask me right now, I struggle to even come up with the name. This one
Okay.
I think was a little bit more fair. Why? Because the character's a little more recent, and second, you don't really think of the character's name when you think of this character.
Oh, okay.
There was what is the name of the mechanic that the Mandalorian goes to on Mos Eisley?
Motto? Pelimato?
Pelamato. Yes.
Okay.
See, you got it. You got
Okay.
it. If you would have been there, our table would have been
Oh
saved.
man, see,
I should have phoned a friend.
yeah, there you go.
Right.
Whenever, yeah, if you're doing Star Wars trivia, phone a friend, just call me.
I got you, bro. I got you. You get a call
That's good.
on a
That's
random Friday at 9 p.m. It's Joel Young. It's probably Star Wars trivia night.
Yeah,
so,
that's good. That's
so
good.
yeah, no, it was great. Those are the only two. Dude, the final question that was supposed to be the hard question was, and this was like you had to just wager points, right?
Oh, okay.
She goes, oh, the final question is a one question. It's based on Rogue One. I'm like, Rogue One? Put all the points in. Like, we're going to go down in a blaze of glory if we don't get this one. Like, gotta go. And the question was, what is that the monk keeps repeating is this phrase throughout the film? And I was like, I'm one with the Force, the Force is one with me. Like,
yeah.
easy, done, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all the other ones, what's in 12 Parsecs, what is this famous adventure that Han Solo is able to do at this speed or whatever, right? It was like, the Kessel Run, like easy stuff like that, bro. That's just powering through. What's the name of Palpatine's a master, Darth Plagueis the Wise. Another one that was a little stumpy was what was the name of Finn's as a stormtrooper? Like, what was his number and also his cell number also? And
FN 387 is it?
FN 2187.
2187.
But I said F1 and 287 because I was like, it spells Finn, right? It's like, well, it's close, but yeah. I had a great time out there. It was a good time for sure. Star Wars trivia night, guys. I those are the two questions that got me. Watto and man, I can't believe it. I can't believe that's what got me. I'm like, I see your face.
So
I hear your voice. I'm like, it's not. I don't know why Sabuba kept coming to me. I was like, no, that's the one he races. What is his name?
So I gotta make it like a side story on this.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if it's still going on, but the Comedy Button podcast.
Okay.
You ever listen to that?
Yeah.
By some of the IGN guys doing that. This episode was probably 9 years ago because it was like either my daughter was about to be born or had just been born, right? And I was working my IT contract at Disney at that time. And I'm driving home at 3 a.m. after I'm done with my shift. And I had Comedy Button on. And they went on this rant on this Watto thing, dude. And it was so funny. It was so funny. I'm driving down Beachline
Don't tell me it was blacked
past
out.
Florida Mall, bro. I stopped. I had to stop in the out to the emergency lane and just stop and park and just laugh, dude. And I was like, I'm the cop. There's no one driving. It's probably a cop might drive by, but like it's again 3 in the morning, bro. It was one of the funniest things that I've ever. It was absolutely
Oh, I wish I
insane,
could hear
dude.
that.
I'm
Oh my
gonna see if I
gosh.
can find the audio. I'll send it to you. It was insane, dude. I laughed so hard that I actually had to pull over, man, and
Oh
just
my
laugh it
gosh.
out. Like laugh it out. I turned off the radio. I had to turn it off. Like I turned it off, bro, and I had to like compose myself. It's like I can't drive, dude, because like and then it's like all right, I gained my composure and started driving again, turned the radio back on, and it's like okay, now I can I left it out, I can keep laughing, but it was brutal, brutal. I'm gonna see if I can find it because it was so good, man. It's of course not safe for work, so it's like I
Well, it's
can't really go
Watto
over
and
it,
it's
but
comedy
it was so
button. Yeah.
good, so good. I'll see if I can find it, but but yeah,
Watto's a character you could roast. You could definitely
you can
like do
roast
some
Watto,
real
real
good.
yeah, real
I
good. It's
mean,
like
this character is a joke for sure.
yeah, talk about a yeah.
The
It's like
snotty
Watto,
nose and his all the
yeah.
fleas around him and
You can go home,
his
little Annie.
voice.
Huh? You gonna drive with Sewulba? No one has beaten Sewulba. I was like, I can't
Your
even do it
Jedi
anymore.
tricks don't work on me.
Only money. All right, enough with Water, because I'm gonna go back and have a flashback, and then
It's not gonna be
I'm gonna
good.
fade here on the podcast. Like,
I'm gonna carry on and
show
be like,
us like
Obed, Obed,
turn on the
come back.
remote to my machine, turn off the Zoom so like you can continue the
Yep.
podcast. Yeah, man, I wish I had an interesting story this week, but I don't.
That's okay
maybe
because
maybe next.
we're gonna have some adventure this weekend.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, more than likely. Yeah, nothing special. Still playing Final Fantasy. Should be almost done. Based, I've tried again, and I'm trying to just do the side quests, and I'm gonna try. I'm trying to do as much as I can on this game. Uh, before I finish it, because Spider Man's coming out soon, so I think I only have a few hours to go. I'm like 56, 57 hours, so I should be close to the end. I've been doing as much side quests as I can, so just trying to get it out of the way, and
Yeah.
I want to jump into Spider Man, enjoy the game. After Spider Man, I really gotta go back and jump into Street Fighter because I neglected to hop back in, and it's good. It's a good game. It's just that I haven't found the time to actually like practice and go online and do anything. So there's so much to play, man. And now it's
Look,
like
I got Assassin's Creed Mirage coming out in a few weeks. I'm
yeah,
not gonna be able to play that anytime soon. I still got other things my backlog to
yeah,
finish. Spider Man's coming. Got to play that. It's busy.
yeah. Final Fantasy VII remake. The pre-orders went out today with for the like the collectors and the deluxe
Okay.
and whatnot. Um, cannot confirm or deny based on people that listen to the podcast that I have may or may not have pre-ordered Mario Wonder, Super Mario Wonder. So uh, Joel again representing with Mario Wonder.
Always.
So yeah, trying to get that out of the way before we go into like a holiday crisis, and I'm not able to find it anywhere. So trying to secure it for the kid. So for
That
the
would be
kid,
a
I'm
fun
sure I'll play
stream,
it too,
actually.
but I'm sure I'll play it too. But yeah, securing it for the kid. And yeah, man, I'm probably gonna do Final Fantasy sometime soon. The problem is that again with Best Buy, I'm trying to wait to pre-order now, just because they've been really bad at adding the pre-order bonuses to the orders once you have it like set in stone. So I'll probably wait it out and see if there's any pre-order bonuses. But yeah, it's so again, 2023 looks like it's chipping up to be another good year. And Tekken 8's coming out beginning of the year, and then Final Fantasy, and then whatever else comes up, because we really don't know like after summer next year what's coming out. So it's gonna be a year full of surprises, I guess. So all right, let's jump into, I guess, our Star Wars topic. Ahsoka episode 6. All right, it's okay. Thrawn is good, bro. And I mean, I'm not saying Thrawn is good, but Thrawn is good.
It's good.
Yeah. So I there were I think that they made the right choice, bringing the same actor back, uh, and as the Rebels boys, because he was so good in Rebels, right? And then the actor's a good actor. Like he's a good actor. Like he's in Harry Potter and whatnot. So um, he was great and so menacing. It's like a very different. Like, do you think of Kylo Ren when he was like pure raw anger and emotion, right? And he is the total opposite, and yet he seems even more menacing than Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
It was great. Again, why was this not the sequel trilogy? Because it would just make sense.
By
And
the way, guys, we're talking spoilers about
yeah,
Ahsoka. So
yeah,
if you
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
seen
yeah.
Ahsoka episode 6, we're getting in it.
Yep. So yeah, they got to the planet, found the not Night Sisters that were still inhabiting the planet, and then Thrawn came in, and yeah, Thrawn being Thrawn was like, not, don't trust anybody. This Jedi, this former Jedi, I don't trust him. I don't trust anyone, right? That kind of thing. Very calculating, very cunning, and he was great. He was absolutely great, man. So what a great villain. What a again, going back to Kylo Ren and Hux, right? Because Hux was another one that was like pure anger and emotion, and even as much as a villain that Snoke was in the sequel trilogy, like the Throne is like 1,000 times better too. Like I don't know why, man. Like some choices that were made, bro, is like insane, right? And again, I know, like we talked about it. 10 years from now, fans are gonna go back and watch those movies, and I was like, oh, yeah, oh, Kylo Ren is awesome, and look at Ray, how cool she is when she pilots the Millennium Falcon and all this. So, we know that's gonna happen eventually, but
Absolutely.
we're still salty about it. Like, I stay salty about many things, and and I'm still salty
You
about
are
some.
the
I
salt.
am the salt, and so and I still, I think about it, right, with fondness, but also with a with a critical approach to it. It's like, yeah, this was fine, but like, there's always gonna be with the sequel trilogy. There's always gonna be the it was fine, but right,
Hmm.
because it could have been much better, and that's the reality of it. But yeah, I mean, Thrawn's great. Sabine went off on her own way and found some hermit crab guys that were kind of cute. Actually, even I despise shellfish, so so those guys, they're not on my hit list. They're fine. And yeah, and then she found Space Jesus over there. He was hanging out with you know holding the tablets. It was a very interesting choice for his design, but no, Sabine found Ezra finally. Um, One thing that really kind of like like something that kind of ticked me off about it was like Sabine not telling him what's up. It's like,
Oh,
yo,
yes.
we like freaking won the war, and I got here with Ahsoka, and it was nuts, right? And they're coming, and space whales and stuff, and this hyperspace ring and Thrawn's back. So, bro, it's like this is like urgent. dude. It's like
Literally.
she was like, "No, I was soaking the moment. No, this is urgent." So if there's anything out of this episode that kind of ticked me
Yep,
off
I
was
agree.
that. I was like, no, no,
100%.
bro. I was like, whoa, this is like pressing matters here. This is like the fate of the galaxy, and you're just like, I just want to appreciate that I found you for now, and like, bro, it should have been like Palpy's dead, Ahsoka's back, and we're trying to do this thing, and like, there's other like Jedi around, and this other Jedi are after me, and you know, like a lot of stuff happened, right? In 9 years or whatever. So and that oh, it was like in Mandalore, like we're all back and like we're back home and uh, what I don't know. I don't know. It seems kind of important to me, right? But I mean, other than that, I think it was a very good episode overall. Sets up something big that's gonna happen in the next episode and the finale. So, yeah, very much interested. But yeah, and go ahead.
Yeah, I think like you started off the right way. Thrawn, Thrawn, Thrawn. I think that's the biggest thing that you take away from this. The setup from the arrival, like when Balin and the Night Sister arrive, right, to see now the Night Mothers being there. I'm like, okay, this moment is really unique because you're like, that they've gotten to the place where Thrawn is, but where is he? And I just love the buildup. Like for a while, I was a little concerned. I've talked to you about this a lot before, even on the podcast and offline. Of I just really hope they don't just wait to have Thrawn in the last episode and then he's off in like 10 minutes, or something crazy like that,
Right.
because
In typical Kevin Kenny fashion.
seriously, it's some Snoke kind of crazy stuff, right? Like that. That actually was one of my bigger fears because I'm like, that literally could ruin the entire show if you do something like that. That's gonna just not be. How do you build it up that way? But anyways, like before I get into the Thrawn thing for a second, talking about the show. The show is called Ahsoka, right? But this is one of the least Ahsoka episodes, and this is why I say to people like, even though the show is called Ahsoka, it's really Rebel season 5 disguised as a live action Ahsoka series.
Mm-hmm.
If you have not watched
100%.
the last few seasons of Rebels, or really just any of Rebels, specifically last season, you are not going to appreciate this show by any means. You could maybe go back and want to watch it. There are people who have reached out to me and told, hey, I actually want to go back and watch it. I think that's the right reaction. I'm not trying to gatekeep and say you can't enjoy it. I'm just saying it's not going to hit the same. But like, yeah, this show really, this episode in particular, to me, even just proved that point more because Ahsoka's only in it for like 3 minutes and then that's it. She's at the very, very beginning. I love seeing the Purgle and the beautiful shot that of them just going through
super hyperspace that they're going through. Yeah.
I'm like, this is a movie. This looks so good.
Yeah.
This looks better than some films that I have watched with visual effects. Blue Beetle, where like it actually looks nice as it's going through.
Yeah.
The Flash.
Yeah.
Like this is incredible. So yeah, I love seeing that. But again, that's just like one of the few things that I would like to have seen more of Ahsoka, but that's not an indictment. Just because my expectations, I have to tell myself this is not an Ahsoka show. I know it's called Ahsoka, Joel.
Yeah.
Not an Ahsoka show. I have to keep telling myself that. As crazy as that sounds. But anyways, Thrawn, dude, that entrance is a moment. Like one of those Star Wars moments that I will remember for a long time.
So, do you think those stormtroopers are all Zumbos?
Like no, Merrick? I don't. No, I think they are enhanced. I think that there's magic that's giving them strength. Some of the wrappings you're seeing around their suits and stuff looks like the Night Sisters' red, kind of garments of any kind. You bring up a good point. Could be zombies. I think that they're alive. I don't think that they died in the jump, personally.
Okay.
I think that but I do think that they're drawing strength. I think that was the main thing, right? When you think about the way in the finale of Rebels, the strategy of the Rebels was to trap both of his armies separated from him. Well, one stuck with him in his ship, and then the other stuck in the city, right, with the force field around them. And so he kept his strongest warriors with him on his ship for the invasion at that time. That was all part of the plan. So when they jump into the hyperspace, his strategy would be to try and keep that army in best shape as possible. Which, if he knew that there were Night Sisters out there, he would have them use their magic to enhance them by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Enoch being
He's different. You can tell
a
that he's
different
different.
type of character.
Yeah.
Yes, there's something different about this guy. I love the design, the gold
yeah.
face mask. The trend right now of, what do you well, how often do you think of the Roman Empire? I'm like, well, when I see stuff like that, I think of the Roman Empire. But
Yeah, because it does looks like straight out of Gladiator kind of
yes,
thing. His design was great.
it's
His
fantastic.
design was
Star
really
Wars
good.
needs that, dude.
Yeah, it
It's
needs
taking something cool,
fresh. Yeah,
fresh.
yeah.
I love that. I
It's
love
like
that they did.
it's like you're gonna have red stormtroopers. It's like, okay, they look the same, but they're just red,
thing,
right? But now this is different, right?
This is different.
It's different. Two things that I just want to point out is like you can tell now that the Chinati is having second guesses about Balin's plans and all that. Like she's like, I don't know, this seems kind of weird, and these witches are kind of weird, and like I'm kind of weirded out by this place too. Like I don't know, right? You can tell like there's like something's gonna happen. She's gonna flip. Something's gonna happen with her, right? Man, and again, like what a what a tragedy that Ray Stevenson passed away, because Balin is excellent, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's a better villain than any other villains in the sequel trilogy. Like straight up.
Or is he a villain?
Yeah, right? Right. So like it reeks of Jedi, but and they pointed it's her. They all did. I was like, nah, not me. It's her. She's the one.
Yep.
She's the smelly one, right? And but it could have been him, right? But then again, you go back to his motivations, right? It's like, the same thing has happened, over and over again. It's like, the Jedi rise in power, and whatever they build, whatever the Republic is, falls, and then they start it, and then there's a war, and then they restart, and then again the same thing happens over and over again. So he's trying to find a way to, I guess, stop the cycle. And how, I don't know. I don't know what his real motives are. I'm sure we're gonna find out, possibly, right? If he doesn't die in the show, I do hope that whoever they recast for his role can give a performance as good as he is, because I think he's excellent. So
100%.
and I guess using villain is not the right word, right? It's like he's more of an antagonist, but he's so good. And the girl that plays Chinhati, she's great too. Man, the casting in this show, like, Ezra, aka Space Jesus, he's great. Like, everyone's like on point, bro, on point. Like, casting director for the show, I'm sure that they've had input, but knocked it out of the park, man. Like, really great job.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree. But dude, I gotta go back to that Thrawn entrance, bro. I'm just saying, like, I haven't seen a moment like that in Star Wars where you actually felt the excitement and just the hype around seeing a character show up. Fall in line, Thrawn, Thrawn.
I think the last time that we saw something like that was it was probably Return of the Jedi, when Poppy made it to the Death Star, and everyone was lined up, and I was like, how this is gonna go? Like everyone like what does he look like? How are what is the interactions with him and Vader, and yeah. Oh.
And his first lines is something like, what was first deemed to be impossible or dreamed to have impossible has now become the possible. And he gives a smirk.
Yeah.
Like I'm back. Yeah. The actor's like, I know what's up. We're here. Let's go.
I lived.
I lived. Now, here's the thing about Thrawn. Like, he is a master strategist. That's his thing. So they keep it so consistent that his first instincts are, tell me everything that you know. Because He
Yeah.
just needs to gain. He's constantly gaining information and making decisions based off the new information, which is why when he hears, wait a second, and then the mothers say, hey, by the way, someone else is approaching. We sensed this. It wasn't in our original
Mhm.
thread. Like he instantly is like, okay, well, now we got to strange strategies again, and I need you to tell me more. And then he looks at the other sisters like,
Yeah.
shoot that whale out of the sky if it shows up in here. Like I am not going to deal with the Jedi,
Yeah.
specifically Ahsoka Tano. I love the reaction too when it's talking about like, oh, introduce like, oh, my name is Balin, and like he's like, I don't know who you are, and then it's like, oh, we have Sabine Wren. It's like, well, that's a name that I know.
Yeah.
Bringing that
Well,
history
he knew who
together.
Balin was because of he was a general during the Clone Wars,
Absolutely.
right? But he didn't meet him,
Not personal.
not personal, right? But then it's like, oh yeah, well, they mentioned Sabine. It's like, oh, well, that's a name that
Like I tortured her before.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that was great.
it's yeah, man. He's so menacing. He's so good, and like his delivery is just so on point, man.
Perfect.
So
Now
good.
the one actually I want to talk about is the Balin thing, right? Like he has that moment where like you said he's tired. He's saying he's like and again the cycle continues and I'm here to end it. But he's like I sense a new beginning and something's calling to me. What's your theories, bro?
I don't know. A lot of people are going back to the Force dog, the big the jackalope or whatever
Yeah,
the dog with antlers that was like a Force being.
the Bendu.
Bendu, yeah. Like a lot of people are going back to that, right? Um, I don't know. I don't know what's calling him. I some at some point the first order's got to happen, I guess, right?
Or
You
they're in
know,
another galaxy though.
I know, but what if it's again all this what ifs, right? Um, I don't know. I mean, what's there, right? There's nothing. That place is empty. It's a graveyard, like he said, right?
At
So
least that planet was. What else is in that galaxy?
yeah, but
Because here's
that's the
my
thing. They
thing.
don't know, right?
They
We're
don't
not we're
know.
in uncharted territory. We don't know what's going on, right?
We don't know what's going on. It's all new to Star Wars. And that's what I think I love about
Mm-hmm.
this is like it's respectful of what was, but it's breathing new life into Star Wars
Yes.
that was needed and telling a story that personally, like that's why I asked you the question about what do you think with the Balin thing? Because personally, I don't think it's going to be anything that any of us predict. I don't think it's
No.
anything we've seen before. I think this is going to be something completely new. And
Mm-hmm.
Dave Filoni's known for like the Bendu we had never seen before. That was a Dave
Yeah.
Filoni original
Yeah.
idea. I think that we're going to see the same thing here, where there's something that's going to expand the lore, and it's time for something fresh like that to come in.
Yeah.
But look, Obed, but talking about new galaxies and stuff,
And
I say that to say like if Ahsoka gets stuck here, this could be why we never saw her in the sequel trilogy. Because she's in a whole nother galaxy.
Oh,
No
yeah.
new adventures happening here. If she stays here, like why did she never show up in the other stuff?
You never
We
finished.
start a whole new story just there.
Never finished Jedi Survivor, right?
I'm getting close. I'm very close.
Okay. Because there's like the thing in the game, right? The place.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
kind of like this. Like it's almost like you gotta go through some crazy hoop and make it over, right? So
Mhm.
it's kind of like that. So no, and I totally get what you're saying, and you're totally right because like we're not going back to a desert planet. We're not going like we're visiting new places. It's like we're not back at Tatooine again, right?
Exactly.
We're
Or Batu, which is the same Jakku.
Jakku, yeah.
Which is the same thing.
yeah, but basically, right? With less sand, it's more like rocky, I guess. Um, and we're getting fresh stuff, yeah, and I like it, man. I'm really loving the show. Like I think this is finally like again, and I told people it's like I'm gonna give Star Wars one more chance, and with Ahsoka, and we're
They got
two
you.
episodes away, and I really hope they don't mess it up, but anything could happen. Also, because you were talking about the Wolves of the Forest last episode, and then
Yes, my
Hu Yan
theory.
comes in and drops it on you.
I told you he's a
Yeah,
will.
yeah,
I told you he's a will. And that would also make sense if it's a new galaxy, a new Will is there he's telling us the
The
story.
story, yeah.
Because we've not had R2D2, we've not had C3PO anywhere in this side of the galaxy, but
Yeah.
Hu Yang being the one that gets there and being from another time of when Ahsoka was to where it is now, he can tell the story of Ahsoka as one of the Wills. Dude,
Yeah.
it's so sweaty, it's so crazy. And it's appeasing me because it's like the childhood stuff I grew up on,
Mhm.
the extended universe lore stuff, just concepts of the Force that we haven't seen. It is just hitting the nail in the coffin for me. I think my expectations are being surpassed. Maybe because I had low expectations. Maybe because I was just disappointed from some of the things I've seen before. But
Yeah.
no, this is fine. This is great.
It's great. Yeah, yeah. Can't wait for next episode.
I know.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I know it's gotta be right. And whatever the movie that comes out of this is, that's gonna be an event. I think that's gonna be the movie that to truly bring Star Wars back.
Honestly, if they end this right, and they have whatever series comes before the next movie, between that time, like if they and it's all can say it's connected, right? Obed, like you're saying, an event. I honestly think we could get Avengers numbers for this next. I don't think anything's gonna pass the Force Awakens anytime soon. But I do think you could look at Avengers numbers on the box office if they play their cards right.
Yeah.
Like if you have a movie that has a major level threat, that has, even if it's CGI Luke and it has Ahsoka and it has
CGI Han Solo
and Han Solo and all all these major characters coming together on the big screen in an Avengers type thing, dude, this could be the one.
yeah, yeah. I really do hope so. We will see. All right. Are you ready, kids?
The rant's coming.
So, all right. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about Taika Waititi because it's Star Wars. I'm gonna make you wait, guys. I'm gonna make you wait. I promise. It's gonna be short,
guys.
So,
it's coming.
So there were rumors last week or early this week that the Taika Waititi Star Wars movie was canceled, and there's another report from yesterday saying that he has turned in multiple drafts of his movie already to Lucasfilm. Like this doesn't. I mean, this could mean this could mean that the drafts were delivered and the movie's still on track, or it could be that the drafts were delivered and the movie got canceled. Like it's either or, right? We don't know, right? But I don't know, man. At this point, I'm gonna ride the wave with Dave and stay. Hey, you know what? He knows what he's doing, right? I think that Taika Waititi is a competent director. I think he's overhyped, but he is competent, right? But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see on this one. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think that this is the kind of news that when we're talking about specifically his project being canned, that actually would be welcomed. Not because I don't like Taika, not because I don't think he can do a good project. I don't think of his style and what he brings as something that what Star Wars needs right now. I don't think now is the time for them to make this kind of wild card choice. It's just not it for me. Does that mean that he can't bring something great? To me, like he's a coin flip. Like it's a gamble. Star Wars doesn't have much to gamble.
No,
right
they don't.
Now.
They can't risk
so
it.
I don't
like.
I don't risks. Don't tell me the odds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like these odds. I have a bad feeling about this. So
yeah,
I'm just saying. I think that this project that's being killed would be great. Here's the thing: Star Wars Newsnet, which is to me like when they say stuff, it's basically gospel when it comes to Star Wars. Their sources are super legit. So when they
not
said
like other sources.
Oh my gosh, not like that. So when these guys are actually saying that, look, they've confirmed with their own sources saying that this thing's still happening. He has turned in scripts. It's interesting. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's been talk of killing the project, but at the moment, it's not dead. Kind of like the Kathleen Kennedy thing, right?
Mm.
Where everyone keeps saying Kathleen Kennedy's fired,
She's been
and I'm
fired
like,
since like 2018,
she's not
dude.
fired
Every
yet.
week. Like
I
zero
think it's
fires
coming.
are every week.
I think it's coming after this Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
situation. I think
Yeah.
that was the last straw to me, at least. Um, but no, like she hasn't been fired yet, guys. Maybe the news story will come out tomorrow and I'll have egg on my face. I don't know, but look, I don't think it's happened yet. But I think it's similar to this, right? Everyone's like, the project's not happening. It's like I don't think it's been killed yet, but it could be. If she's gone, I think he's gone from the project. Time will tell.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see on that one. All right. Now for realsies. Joe, what's up with this leaks from Xbox? This thing's out of control, dude. Like a ton of
Exclusive.
information and leaked email. Oh, wait.
Exclusive.
Ah, exclusive. There you go. So, all right. I'm gonna start with, I guess, the less important, the less important one, which is that they are. Um, there was a leak where they showed what the, I guess, refreshed Xbox Series X would look like. Um, if you like Bluetooth speakers, you'll be quite at home with this design. Um, I also thought about the trash can Mac Pros. Remember those?
Yep.
So it kind of looks, kind of a cylinder with a fan on the top. Kind of like, well, I was like, oh well, Apple discontinued their trash can Macs. Why don't we just use their design and make an Xbox like that? So the big thing on this one, right, is that it doesn't have a disk uh, drive. So it has improved power supply, a Wi-Fi 6. They added improved accessories, power efficiency, and whatnot. Same price, $499, but no disk drive. In 2 terabyte, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 2 terabyte. It is they're doing it. They're doing it. They're just gonna go ahead and cut. So I don't know, right? We'll see how this goes. I know that at the moment, if you have an Xbox, it would make perfect sense for you to have Game Pass, which would totally be the purpose of this device.
Yeah.
And it is kind of the purpose of the Series S too, right? But it's gotten to the point where I think that Xbox is just gonna stop printing games, and they're gonna print games for the rest of the generation because of the original Series X having a disk drive, and they're gonna just give you the option, right? If you are, I guess, an early adopter of the console, but they're done. Like, this is the Game Pass machine, and they're doing it. So, yeah. What do you think? What do you think of the design? And I mean, where do you think this is going?
Yeah, honestly, I know a lot of people are cracking on just the look of it. It doesn't bother me. Um, I think it's fine personally.
Yeah,
Like it's weird.
it's like the squared
It's
box thing.
it's this two. Yeah, it's weird, but it doesn't actually bother me. And at the end of the day, like it's just gonna sit there on the side of my television if I'm gonna have something like this, and I'm just gonna play games, right? So as long as it got its power and its thing, the thing could look like a shoe, and if it works good, great. But I will say, as for the all digital, like you're saying, this is a huge step for them because it's inevitable. We knew it was coming, and it makes sense because of how successful Game Pass is. And Microsoft really probably just said, let's just fully commit and basically have this be the gateway to whatever their next gen is. Like this is probably going to be just the setup of what they plan for their next iteration. And we saw this coming. Statistics show us that most people are buy games digitally. Some of it has to do, like, think for example the recent NBA 2K drop. A lot of people, it's an online game. People want to play it with their friends. if they wait for the physical copy, they have to physically go to the store and get it the next day during business hours. Where if it's digital, they could download it exactly at midnight and be ready to go. Where there used to be midnight events at stores, that's a thing of the past,
Yeah.
right? So it's a different time. I'm nostalgic. Like and Kotaku mentions a great point in their breakdown of this when they're like, nothing beats going to your GameStop and going through the local bargain bin and getting $10 Far Cry 6, and you can just pop that disc in
Yeah.
for a super bargain, play it, or maybe your friend has a game that they played. I don't know, but I've got, I'm playing Assassin's Creed Mirage, and you weren't thinking of buying it. When I'm done with it, I hand you the disc,
Yeah,
and then you
exactly.
go
Yeah.
play at your house, and you have fun and cool with it because I'm done playing it. Yeah, I know that costs them money, but like as a consumer, I love having that versatility and having the ability to just pick something out like that, physically. But understanding that the next generation doesn't value that the way we used to back in the day. The times have changed, and
Yeah.
it's this nostalgia for me in that sense. But yeah, I don't think anything is wrong actually with them going all digital. I don't think anything's terribly wrong with the design of it. I'm actually a little bit more when we start talking about some of the other things we'll get into, that's where some of the concern starts to come to me with we're talking about gambling. Some of the gambling that's going on in the businesses, that's where the real problem is. It's not in the console. It's not in the program around having a digital based thing. It's something else. And we'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah. But I think the big thing out of all these leaks was leaked emails.
Yep.
And like it, okay. I felt physically ill reading some of this stuff. Like if you think that Phil Spencer is an upstanding great guy for gaming, right? No, bro. Like, and that's why he's out there saying, "Oh, it is unfortunate that these internal communications were published out so other people can read them." Uh, mm, dude. So this is basically, I mean, it all in summary is like we're gonna win at any cost, literally any cost. Like we will pay whatever amount of money necessary to win, and and that's what Xbox has been doing for the last 4 years. Buying everything so they just win by default, right? Could you imagine? All right. So could you imagine Ford, the Ford Motor Company, right?
Sure.
They go, hey, you know what may be a good idea? We should buy Toyota. They make great cars, but they're boring cars. But our cars are, you know, loud and obnoxious and gigantic. So why don't we just buy the boring, reliable company, and that way we can have more market in Japan. That's technically, basically, what it is. Like this is, I was like, oh, let's buy Nintendo. It's some leaked emails back from 2020, where before the Activision thing got done, um, Phil Spencer bragging that buying Nintendo would have been like a career thing for him. It's like great. It's like you're monopolizing the industry. What a great achievement, jerk, dude. Like I'm not. I'm upset. Like I don't care, right? About Activision, all that, right? You know, I rarely, I probably the only Activision game that I bought in the last 10 years, actually I bought two. It was the Transformers, um,
Oh
the
yeah, Cybertron.
no, not Cybertron. Well, that was PS3, but last 10 years, Devastation,
Oh yeah.
the platinum game ones. That's really good. Um, that one and Sekiro because they published Sekiro and it was a From Software game. That's the only.
Mm,
That's why I bought Sekiro, right? So I didn't buy Sekiro because it was published by Activision. It was because it was From Software game.
yeah.
So I don't care. I don't have any Bethesda games. I don't have any Blizzard games. I don't care, right? I don't care. Because they, they're on PC. They do the thing. They're you can still playing even if you don't have an Xbox. Yeah, you have a PC, a decent PC, you can still play these games. But when you're talking about getting or purchasing a direct competitor, whether they like it or not, whether they present it to the court that Nintendo or Microsoft and Xbox are two very different things, and they're doing two different things, and they're not really competing against each other. They are. At the end of the day, they are, right? And just buying your competitors doesn't make you great.
Wow.
Buying your competitors makes you a sore loser with a deep pocket. And you know, I'm sorry. Yeah, Phil turned it around. Spend $100 billion buying stuff, and here's PlayStation still selling them like 2 to 1, and here's Nintendo with a freaking like atrocious port of Mortal Kombat 1 that is laughable, and is still outselling you 3 to 1, right? So you know, I, I don't know. I lost a lot of respect for Phil in the last few days, and I want to say in the last 6 months. Like my
Yeah.
like my image of Phil has definitely come down quite a bit. I don't feel the same way that it's like, oh yeah, he turned Xbox around, but when you look at it, right, it's like the bully, buying all the other, giving the other kids in recess money so they don't play with you, right? It's it's rough, and I know, whatever corporations, the capitalism and the whatever, right? I know, right? But you know, you don't see this in other industries,
Yeah.
because other industries are not sore losers. And yeah, you just couldn't fathom Microsoft losing, right? And so you had to like go nuts and spend $100 billion buying stuff so you can be relevant at least, right? Um, I don't know, man. This is nuts, right? Um,
Yeah.
and go ahead. I'm gonna, because I can keep going until like
No,
midnight here, dude.
no, you're good. You're good. I want to hear more from you, but like I just want to read off this passage here for a second and you'll see what we're talking about. But like over the past 5 to 7 years, this is from the leaked memos. Over the past 5 to 7 years, the AAA publishers have tried to use production scale as their new moat. Very few companies can afford to spend the 200 million in Activision or Take-Two spend to put a title like Call of Duty or Red Dead Redemption on the shelf. These AAA publishers have mostly used this production skill to keep their top franchises in the top selling games each year. The issue these publishers have run into is these same production scale costs approach hurts their ability to create new IP. What the heck does he know about creating new IP? I'm sorry. You want to talk about creating
Halo
new
Gears and
IP.
Forza, Halo Gears and Forza, Halo Gears and Forza.
What is this guy doing to help create new intellectual properties, to bring in creative studios to work on stuff for his platform? What has he done for that? And he's over here talking about this approach is hurting. I'm sorry, man. When I read that, I wanted to fall out of my chair. What the heck is he talking about here, dude?
I don't know.
Because I'm sorry, you have no business commenting on what it takes financially to help output these types of things when you aren't even doing anything to help the industry get to that place. Even with you purchasing these studios, you're buying studios to make sure you have the same content, Call of Duties and all the stuff exclusive coming to your platforms, not to make anything new.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, dude. It's like it. If it was like old, and not even right. If we were talking about like 2000s Microsoft,
Yeah.
I may have not been as upset as I am, because I am still upset about this crap. But the problem is that we've seen it in the last 15 years that Microsoft does not know how to manage game studios. All of their game studios underperforming, over budget, missing release dates, unfinished games.
Yeah.
Bro, their mismanagement on studios and IPs are I don't want to say the IPs, right, because you still have Forza, you still have Gear,
No, sure.
you still have Halo, Gears, and Forza. Although Halo right now it's yeah kind of iffy,
No, it
but
was.
you got all of their other, like, what's Rare doing? Like more Sea of Thieves content. I've been same game for 10 years now or whatever. So what I would be concerned, right, if Microsoft would have gone and done the Nintendo, is the mismanagement of the Nintendo properties and their games. Because this is not as like, oh yeah, now we
No.
could have had Mario on Xbox and PC.
No, no, no.
It's not as simple as that, right? Because you would get it, right? But then the next Mario is a Mario MMO, or Mario free to play, you know, gacha game. That's the thing, right? And that's the problem. They would mismanage their this. Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna have Zelda with great graphics. Are you sure? But Zelda with great graphics, but you would have to pay $5 for Majora's Mask instead of just finding it on a treasure chest after actually finishing a challenge in the game, right? That's the thing. So I really, like, again, and I think my problem, and I know that fanboys will say, it's like, well, they got deep pockets, they can just buy everything and win, right? Yeah, who wants to win like that? Who want, like, they cannot win on their own merit, so they can just go ahead and buy everything. That way they can have everything and win, right? Again, but it goes to show, right? Again, PlayStation still outselling them, strongly. The Switch with their, uh, underpowered 6-year-old hybrid console still outselling them. Because about at the end of the day, it's about the experiences.
Yeah.
So Microsoft, the Xbox has become the console where everything works fine, but there's
Yeah.
nothing new. You know, there's no storytelling masterpiece. There's no open world adventure. Grand adventure. There's they don't know how to take advantage of their hardware. They don't. I don't know, man. It is so bizarre what's going on at Xbox right now. And again, yeah, I get, fans are gonna laugh at it. Xbox fanboys are like rejoicing because they have, like, yeah, they can just buy everything and win. Haha, we won. But who, you know, what kind of, I get it. That's capitalism. Yeah, well, they won. But at the end of the day, bro, and Microsoft's biggest competitor right now is probably Apple, and Apple's outselling Microsoft on everything, right? On laptops, on tablets, not to mention phones. They had to get out of the phone business
Seriously.
because they got destroyed. So when you think about it, right, and you know, and not even that, it's like not even the phone, that you got a full ecosystem with
Yeah.
wearables and headphones and all that, right? And Microsoft just couldn't get into that market. Like they tried, they did the Zune, and the Zune was a great product, right? But you just couldn't get to the cool factor that the iPod had. And we go back to, like, the Surface, but yeah, it has a touchscreen and everything, but it's not as cool as the MacBook Pro.
You know those.
Right? I know, I know
Nobody knows
those.
about it.
I know those, man. Macs are set it and forget it. I don't have to worry about you doing something weird to your machine. It will, yeah, it'll fix itself.
You don't check on us Mac guys as
No,
much.
I don't. I don't. No, you guys are self sufficient. I'm worried about the guys with the Dells. That's what I'm worried about. So
You just called out all the Dells. You can sponsor us if you'd like to. Send an email to nolotime@gmail.com. And the entire show will be sponsored by Dell.
you know, yeah, we'll sell out. Uh, but
Dell
yeah,
microphone, Dell headphones, whatever they
oh
have, bro,
man,
we're in
I'm
it.
telling you. But that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It bugs me because they just wanna. It's just that they can't do anything on their own, and it's the Microsoft mantra, right? That,
Oh, for
oh,
sure.
we can't compete with this company. Let's go ahead and buy it, or let's go ahead and buy their other competitors so we can at least compete, right? But to this day, dude, like, and dealing with Adobe is not easy. And I mean at like a
Yeah.
support level, and
Yeah.
it's not easy, right? But it's incredible that to this date, like, Microsoft cannot compete with Adobe. Like, none of their products compete with anything that Adobe offers. Like, they try to make
Whew.
PDFs on Edge a thing. No, man, that's not gonna happen. I'm downloading this Reader DC, man. I am. So that's and that has been Microsoft problem since always, right? It's like, I like this thing, I'm gonna buy it. Skype, you know, like, whatever. I think, right, the best product that Microsoft ever made is Teams, and it has its flaws, but for the most part, I have nothing but positive things to say about Teams. But the what Teams is there because they have to buy like another 15 companies,
Right.
so, and to make Teams happen. And that's the thing, right? It's like, they can't do anything on their own merit. They have to keep buying this other stuff so they can create new things. And and again, the same goes for like Meta and Google, right? But
Sure.
they're not
Yep.
they're not as egregious as Microsoft. Like Microsoft is like, they will try to take you out.
That's all they
They,
do.
they will try to take you out of business, and that's the thing with that really bothers me about them. So, man, it's like, Phil, I don't know. It's like, yeah, having deep pockets doesn't make you a winner, right? So it's just very, very, I don't know. It's strange. Not to mention, like, they had to scramble to get games out last year because last year they didn't have any exclusives, right? Ready Make exclusives.
No, no,
So they
yeah.
had to scramble to get like third party stuff out as like time
Yeah.
exclusive because they didn't have anything. So and we all knew, like, we talked about it many times on the podcast, and other gaming channels and shows talked about it.
Absolutely.
There's like, oh, was Xbox doesn't really have anything this year. Meanwhile, you have Horizon and you have God of War, and it's like, and Gran Turismo, and bro, now this year they don't like. I still don't look at Starfield like an Xbox game because that game was a Bethesda game that they just bought, right?
Yeah.
This is not an Xbox game,
Totally.
and you know, again, other than their three franchises, where they're trying to bring back Fable. That looks great, right? So, um, yeah, man. I don't know. They're like a jack of all trades, not master of none, basically, at this point.
Mm,
And they're just
yeah.
buying stuff to be good at something. So I don't know if you have any other closing comments or thoughts before I talk about the Oreo controller.
Yeah, I just agree with you. I think the statement you said, just because you can buy everything doesn't make you the best. I think that's like a very profound statement. I mean, that could have been the title of this episode alone. I mean, it's just so fantastic because, you have the money You have that Bill Gates money, right? That's flowing through. They're living off of success from, another sector of the business. Let's be real. I don't think Xbox as a company is really their sales. There's no way that they're really in profit
Yeah,
that much at all.
compared to other compared to a short office, it's chunk change. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's probably just a break even, a little bit, a little soft numbers, and that's it. And for a long time, they've been basing themselves off of the success of the Xbox 360. Like from that time where everyone that had a 360 was happy with it for the most part. Um, they just haven't been able to come back since that time. And there's a lot of people who have been Xbox loyalists that grew up with it at that time that still have their Xbox. And I think even those people know it's not great, but that's just the brand of choice for them. That loyalty only goes so far. I think PlayStation and Nintendo, they're trying to now create experiences for their player for their community. And I think when people start to then see as that flows into whatever goes into again the next generation, which won't be till what, another 3 years from now or whatever it's supposed to be.
2028 based
Right.
on the
So,
leaks.
which I think is great. I think that's the right timing.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
I
so
don't think
too.
anytime
Yeah.
sooner. Yeah, like I am very, very, very curious now with this all digital and on all these fronts and with the leaks coming out now. Between now and that time, Obed, does Phil Spencer stay in power? I don't think so. If I was a betting
Oh,
man, I would say he is not in power between now and 2028.
interesting.
Yep.
Interesting that you feel like that.
Yeah, man. It's a throwing it out there. I have no inside information, but I just cannot imagine this is going to stay. This is a really low point publicly now for them. They've spent a whole lot of money acquiring these other properties. Yeah, you have the money just because you can, but I think when Nintendo does what they're going to do with this next iteration of the Switch, I don't know, man, how this is going to affect them. There's a new generation coming in, and it's not an Xbox One.
Interesting. Um, yeah, man, I guess I didn't see it like that, but sure. That's a sentiment I can probably, I can totally see it.
Yeah.
Um, man, it's just that I don't know. It was ever since the reveal of the Xbox One, right? This has been going on for 10 years, dude. 10 years, 10 and a half years.
Wow.
And ever since that moment, like we knew like what their priorities were, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that they were the humiliation was so bad
Yeah.
that they told Phil, it's like, listen, here's $100 billion, fix it. And and to this date, right, it's like, yeah, Starfield's doing great, but but you had to buy them. You had to buy it. You didn't make it. You didn't make it.
No, no. Yeah.
So it's like saying, it's like, could you could you imagine if I um like you so you say, for example, you're working on a project, right?
Yeah.
And you finish your project and you deliver your project, right? And I just gave you like I gave you a pointer. It's like, oh, here's a, you know, could you, I think this would be a good idea to add this thing to the project. And you finish your project, you deliver it, right? And the next meeting, I stand up and say, it's like, well, I want to congratulate myself for the project that I finished, and that's basically what he's been doing. Others like,
Yes.
we are very proud of of Starfield. It's like, you didn't work on it.
No.
Bethesda did.
You bought it.
You bought it. I
Don't get it,
it's
man.
just, I don't know. Maybe it's just the ethics guy in me that's like, I have very low patience for this sort of grandstanding,
Oh, for sure.
and it's just the way I feel. I know I sound like a fanboy, but real
Nah,
quick,
man. Makes sense.
we'll move on. So, um, Activision last year, they actually there's a report saying that they actually demoed the new Switch, and that it based on the rumors that we've heard. Again, it's a PS4 kind of compatible device graphics wise, which is fine. If it's gonna be the way that they make it sound is that it's still going to be a hybrid device. So a hybrid device with those capabilities, I think it sounds pretty good to me, right? Of course you should be able to enhance those with the dock, but um, you're probably not gonna get 4K 60 on the next Mario
No,
game.
no.
But you're gonna get at least a solid 1080 60, knowing Nintendo and how they work, right? Like a game like Mario Odyssey that runs at 60, it's a great game. It looks great. Based on the track record, yeah, that should be doable, and we should be able to see very nice looking Nintendo games. But not much of the report is just a follow up from some of the other reports that we talked about it in previous weeks. But what do you think?
Yeah, I don't have too many thoughts on it. I hate to say it, but like I feel like it's notable. Like it's totally news. I'm not saying it's not interesting, but I don't expect this to make much of a splash, to be completely fair. And no, it's good to have more competition in the market. Maybe this will, when you see even sometimes like smaller additions like this, it causes some of the other planning and development around some of the other things that are to come from these other major companies we're talking about already now. Maybe they'll look at this and make some interesting choices out of it and say, oh, this worked. Let them be the guinea pig for it. But yeah, I hate to say it, I don't have high expectations for this at all. And I don't know that they have high expectations for this thing either, to be completely fair. It's probably an attempt to just get into the market.
Yeah, but you mean the high expectations when it comes to like the specs? Because I think
Yeah,
the
yeah.
device
That's
is going to do well. I think it's
this,
going to do great.
no, 100%. I think this the
Yeah.
device is going to do great. I think it's going to sell great. It's going to be fine. I just think yeah, I don't know. I don't think it doesn't catch my attention too majorly right now.
Okay. Okay. Again, we gotta wait and see, and
Yeah.
you know, because you that's the thing that for the Switch, right? For every game that's like as bad as Mortal Kombat One is, right, on the Switch, you got your Zelda and you got your Mario, where it's still
Yeah.
enjoyable experience. Like Mario 3D World runs and looks great. Mario Odyssey, Mario Galaxy on the collection looks really really good. So you know they are able to deliver even with the limited platform that they have. So having a platform that could be, I guess 3 times more powerful. How many?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look specs right now. Hold on.
Sure.
Fill the dead air, sir.
Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, what Nintendo's trying to do with their next gen stuff, of trying to catch up, like that's what is necessary right now, right? Like that's exactly where they need to
Yeah.
be aiming for.
So just the Switch compared to the um, PS4 Pro. So hold on.
Yeah, not PS4, PS4 Pro.
PS4
Because
Pro,
PS4
right?
Pro was pretty insane.
Yeah. So the Switch has 1 teraflop, and the PS4 Pro had 4.2.
Wow.
Like if you go PlayStation, if you go PS4 Pro, that's pretty good. The PS4, the OG PS4 had 1.84. So it's
Yeah.
about an 80, yeah, about an 85% increase. Um, but if they go pro, which was the rumors that we got before, right? That it was
Sure.
comparable to like a PS4 Pro. Um, that would be. I think that's where they need to aim for. I don't think they should aim for base PS4. I think they should aim for PS4 Pro,
Yeah.
and that would give them probably a few more years of life after that, because it's, I mean, not that the Switch is dying, right? Because it's still selling great, and there's a bunch
No,
of
no, no.
tons of games coming out, and tons of good stuff. But that's what they should be aiming a little bit higher on this one, if you ask me. So,
Yeah.
yep. Joel, real quick, what's up with Disney?
Yeah, I mean, this was a huge surprise with all the financial and all the attention going on, the negatives with Disney that we've ranted about for quite a bit. Here comes Josh D'Amaro saying, "Guess what, guys? We're like tripling down on the money that we're going to be putting into the parks. We talked about somewhere in the range of 17 billion originally being budgeted out for these next several years. Now they've updated that to the tune of 60 billion, Obed.
It's a lot of money.
And that's a whole lot of money.
That's a whole lot
And
of theme
so
parks.
whole lot of theme parks. There was also
Uh-huh.
some references to potentially Wakanda coming in at some point, being one of the things that they expand to. But yeah, like I don't think it takes anybody to be a genius to know that when you put money like that, these people are going to have at least one, if not two, new theme parks that they're working on. Have to. Like money like that, there's no way that they have that in store just for upgrades. Where Epcot was supposed to be their biggest upgrade financially that they've done. I don't think Magic Kingdom's going to get that much more. I'm sure that they'll expand it, right? Like there's been rumors of that Villains Land for a
Uh-huh.
long time, or maybe something else coming in there. But no, man. And yes, some of this includes also their cruise lines. So yes, those would be some upgrades too, some new cruises coming through,
Yeah.
which supposedly is one of their most profitable businesses, which is pretty fascinating. Oh, but we know people formerly with our former colleagues that are working on the cruise line, which seems to be one of the more successful lines of business
Yeah.
that Disney has. But look, I think with that money coming in, assuming that the Apple acquisition doesn't happen or some other major acquisition, you'd have to assume that within the next 5 years, you're going to have an announcement of at least one brand new theme park coming to Orlando with some of the reserve land they have. If an acquisition happens, I think those plans get paused, not deaded,
Hmm.
because then bigger reevaluation of plans. But if things stay on path, Obed, we could be seeing by the new decade, by 2030, you know, another theme park, a fifth theme park coming to Walt Disney World,
And
Florida.
it needs it. We need to split more people out of the other parks for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
because of overcrowding. Yeah, this is good news if you ask me. It's good news that they're paying attention to what actually makes them money. Excuse me, and some of the predictions that we had that they were gonna start shedding some of the other businesses looks like they're coming true. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think so. And like if they can take some of the money from the size of business that's not a part of their future, which we talk about television, that kind of thing,
yeah,
and reallocate that towards the parks, which really should be a driving part of
oh,
Disney,
yeah,
it's great.
yeah. I think they need to get rid of those channels. Like we had a conversation today, like
Yeah.
online, on chat, and it's like, oh yeah, they should. I think the only channel that they should keep is the Disney Channel. Everything else should go, if you ask me.
Which Disney Plus is basically the Disney Channel now, but I know what
Yeah,
you're saying. They could still keep it for now because it's a part of their brand. I agree.
exactly. Yeah, they do still need that presence in cable,
Yep. Disney
and
XD, Disney Channel, sure.
yeah. Well, Disney, Spectrum, they remove XD and all the other Disney channels.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
they XD Junior, Freeform, and FX are gone. I think from
Wow. I
Spectrum.
didn't know. I didn't know. Again, I don't really watch cable that
Yeah,
much,
no,
but
they're
but it's a
gone.
good catch.
They're gone. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
They you go to the channel, it's like, oh, these channels no longer available.
Wow.
Yeah, so they just left
They,
us the the legit like Disney Channel there. So I think
wow.
that's what the future plan is. So all right, that's what we got, sir. Go ahead and wrap it up.
Everybody, thank you so much for sticking with us. We want to encourage you to stay connected to No Load Time. So make sure you're subscribed to the podcast on podcast platforms of your choice, places like Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, places that you listen to your podcast. We're there. Make sure you're subscribed, following us. like these videos on the No Load Time YouTube channel where we broadcast live the video version. So you can follow us, No Load Time, on YouTube, subscribe, like the videos, drop a comment. We really appreciate it. Thank you for those who have been writing comments on our videos. It's been awesome. Appreciate the feedback for sure. Also, we invite you to follow us on social media at No Load Time. It's at No Load Time, Facebook, Twitter, or X, Threads, TikTok, all that good stuff. You can find us out there. We're putting content out. Also, would invite you to follow us on Twitch. No Load Time. It's No Load Time altogether. All the handles I'm talking about, you can see down below. If you're watching the video version, you'll see those handles down below. Additionally, and last but not least, if you have a question, comment, or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Like we said, you can write in the comment sections of our videos, or you can write it on our social media, but you can also email us. You can send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And maybe, just maybe, we'll even discuss one of those things we send in on a future episode. But with that being said, thank you all so much, and we look forward to being with you next time.
Thank you guys. Stay salty and safe. We'll see you again next time.